What's up, everybody? Welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. Tonight we have a special video that's going up. Now, first of all, I want to apologize for the audio. I don't know what the problem was. We tried several times to correct it. It was actually looking okay on our end while I was filming it, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the software that recorded or whatever, came out a little choppy in points. You have to turn up the volume to hear Brecken a little bit. But this is Andrew's story, and Brecken is the one narrating it. And yeah, I guess what I'll do is just kind of give you an overview, because some people, may say, what the hell is this? And you won't watch it unless you find out what it's about. Andrew passed away, died, from using black market anabolic steroids. That's the plain and just of what happened. And I want to put that out there, that the reason why his fiance Brecken is coming out is because so many people hide this and you don't hear about it. And you hear all these people saying it's not a big deal and just buy shit on the internet and stuff like that. And it cost him his life, and one of his friends was actually in the hospital for over a week with some of the stuff that they bought online. So without further ado, please, again, I'm sorry for the audio. This is going to be a three-part series because we actually went for kind of a long time. But if you listen to Brecken talk about this, it's a devastating loss for her, his family, their friends, everybody in their lives, because this individual, Andrew, wanted to be a pro bodybuilder and be the best he could, and taking drugs was something he decided to do. And listening to the people on the internet essentially tell him what not a big deal it was and how to do this shit, got him killed. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. We are on Skype today with Brecken Green. Now, Brecken, first of all, thank you for coming on and doing this. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of predate this a little bit with how you and I met. Brecken came to see me at the Olympia this year. She waited very patiently there to talk to me, and then all of a sudden came up and super polite, super nice, and told me the story of her fiance, which as soon as we get to talking about this, she wanted to reach out and help people, and I thought it was super important with her message to get it out there about bodybuilders actually dying from some of the stuff that they're doing nowadays. So, Brecken, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I think this is going to be a big step towards exposing some of the stuff that actually goes on that nobody wants to talk about.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the platform to get this message out there, because I think it really is important. And initially, I was very afraid to talk about it, and you were actually the first person, aside from his immediate family, that already kind of knew what was going on. My family doesn't even know about it. Nobody else knows but you. You were the first person I opened up to. And I think I have watched a lot of your stuff, and you're really raw, and you tell the fucking truth, and it's important, and I am too also. Because Andrew wanted to help people, and he should have had a really long life of being influential and environment. Incredible, but he didn't, and that's what I'm here to talk about.
Well, I mean, first of all, it was I don't want to say it was shocking, the stuff that you told me, but it's stuff that I've heard before, and people will just cover up. They bury it because they don't want to make their loved one look bad. Sometimes the loved one still makes it through the process, and they don't want to bring negativity or like a dark cloud to the sport. So they kind of brush it under the carpet, and everything is never heard of. And then you have these young guys who are always like, well, see, like, nothing comes of this. Everything's fine. And we're not here to talk specifically about, like, steroids killing anyone. Okay, we're not sitting here to say he took a shot of testosterone from the doctor and he died. So, yeah, why don't you just go ahead and explain to us. So first of all, tell us a little bit about Andrew. You said he was into bodybuilding, obviously. Was he a competitor?
So he hadn't competed yet. I picture he had really great genetics, and he understood the fact that he had great genetics. And he had, I think in 2013, 2014, he had experimented for the first time with, I think it was Tren.
That was his first time he used Tren for the first time?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Tren. And I remember him telling me the funniest story about how he had never pinned anything before. So he went to pin in his glutes, and he passed out and jammed the needle in his sciatica, and woke up fucking blood everywhere, and it was a nightmare. And after that, he got over it, made himself good, because he wanted to be great. And then he bounced. He was kind of a local celebrity. He he was just an athlete. He was a fucking animal. He did MMA. He had a world record burpees for a 200 plus pound man. I mean, he was just an incredible athlete. And so he would get bored. And so he bounced between bodybuilding and other athletic things. He did a Spartan race in 2015 and did really well. But in 2015, he got serious about bodybuilding, serious about his diet. He got his training. He got serious about the products that he was using. And that was for us meeting prior to us getting together. I met him for the first time in the gym like November 20, and I remember he was eating these like gummy worms in the middle of his workout, and I thought that was a funny thing. And so he explained how you load glycogen during your workout, and he at the time was using insulin.
Wow.
Using, and I didn't see him for a while. I remember, but
So the thing he used was Tren, which absolutely blows my mind that someone would start out their bodybuilding career just using Tren immediately right away.
So he worked out several times, and his best friend at the time was D steroids.
Oh, okay.
That's how he got into it, and so he didn't really know anything about it. I don't think he ever understood the fact that like the first cycle that you run is your best potential to build permanent muscle.
Right.
In terms of actually creating new cells. And I don't think he understood that. I don't know ever that he did, because it was kind of too late, too far gone, and he'd gotten into other things. But by the time we got together, he had experimented with a ton of stuff. He tried T3, he tried Clen. Clen was like one of his favorite pre-workout things, and that is harsh.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a lot of money, so he would find or get a lot of products for, an economical way of doing it. But the problem with research is you don't really know exactly what you're getting when you're getting it,
Right. So you're talking about like the black market underground stuff.
Yeah, and so he ordered a lot of stuff offline, and he would order a lot of raw products. He would order a lot of, like he didn't do the capsules of Clen, he ordered the liquid form.
Okay.
Dosed it however.
Like research chems, like that stuff that's like not for human consumption, for research purposes type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But he was very private in the sense that he understood how influential he was, and he understood that there were, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that would come to him, oh, dude, how to get so big? I want to be just like you. And he would tell them, you fucking eat right, don't be a bitch in a workout, know your limits, know your genetics, rest properly, and he never talked about the products that he. I think part of that was because he was a natural athlete for so long, but part of it was he understood how influential his presence was, and he didn't want to be giving people bad advice. He was fine with experimenting on himself, and that's where I look at like the Boston experiment.
Yeah.
And I see how massively food that is, and I see how unhealthy it is because people don't understand. They see the finished product, or they see him, you know, the way he looks, and they want to look like that, but they don't know all the costs. And most people don't understand the science behind it either.
Which, you know, that's a good point you bring up about the Boston thing. You know, Boston has been very open about some of the stuff he's gone through, like his injuries and the infections and stuff like that. And, you know, Boston himself have had more issues with this stuff than all of my friends put together throughout the years. And I do believe it is a sign of the times, like you're saying, like you're buying stuff online that you're not even sure what you're getting. And we're going to kind of get into something now and the reason why we're putting this out, and we do have a little bit of a connection problem here, but it's so important to get this out right now because the holidays are coming up. And right now, the holidays are when a lot of people order stuff from overseas and try to get it into the country because of the overflow of packages. So they'll order these steroids from out of the country or order the powders from out of the country and try to get them in to kind of slip by because of the overflow of packages. And you're saying that, you know, basically Andrew had, well, I'm going to let you keep telling the story, but basically this is like the time that you want people to understand this message.
Okay, so it was like November, December of last year, so 2016, and he had in some I believe, equipoise and prop.
No, this is the raw powders, right?
All raw from China. And he ordered the grapeseed oil and the backwater. He didn't order any BB. And this is funny because I didn't learn how to product, like reconstitute raw products until after he had passed away. But yeah. He had a shot glass. It was a little purple shot glass, and he would lay out the raw product, and he would put it in a shot glass, and he would add his oil, and he would add his BA to it,
which is the benzyl alcohol.
And he would stir it, and would wait, you know, a week, 2 weeks for it to dissolve. And then he would, if there was just, it didn't get a bigger needle, and he would shoot that shit right in his fucking leg.
So first of all, hang on a second. Okay. So I'm like I say, I have experience homebrewing, but I made the trend out of the pellets back in the day. So you're trying to tell me that he had a shot glass with benzyl alcohol in it in powder, and he was using that to dilute with the grapeseed oil, dilute the raw product in the shot glass and left it in the open without any sterilization or anything like that. Now,
no, because
well, the
video on YouTube that said this is how you do it. You just throw all the stuff in there, and then it'll dissolve at the point, and then you just suck it up and shoot it in your leg.
So what video? What video? That's crazy.
I don't know. He also, his belief system was a little strange, and that's, you know, he didn't really believe in germs.
Okay.
Understand the fact that just because you put benzyl alcohol in something, it doesn't mean it kills everything.
Right.
In order for alcohol to affect, there has to be like an evaporation process. And he didn't really understand that. He thought that, oh, alcohol in it, it's
right. It's good as long as the benzyl alcohol's in it.
Yeah, when the oil's in it. And so he mixed his ratio was very odd. He mixed probably an unusually high amount of alcohol, so he thought he was killing the bacteria when it was just meth.
Yeah.
And that was just his system, because that's all he had learned, because that's all the information that was out there at the time he was trying to get into it, in terms of, you know, when you type into YouTube how to homebrew steroids, there's X amount of videos that pop up, and are you going to really watch all of those
right.
videos? No, you're going to watch the first one. And I think that's a big problem too, is the misinformation, and you know, it fits together into one big fucked up thing.
Yeah, nowadays so many
But
people
he
just
would.
throw stuff out there, and there's no real way to filter through what you're hearing and seeing. Like the forums back in the day used to actually have some really good, solid information that you could share and go back and forth with the guys. And then you saw it not only get diluted, where the really smart and top guys were getting out of the forums, but all of a sudden people were coming up with crazy ideas like 750 to 1,000 milligrams of DNP a day, and using DNP for a 2-week cut to go to the beach, like insulin just to get a good pump to go to the beach for the weekend. And you're like, holy shit, like a lot of chances being taken, through, he made the homebrew shot glass out in the open with germs on the table. It's not a clean room. So it's just like in his kitchen or, dining room or something like that, which is not obviously the most sterile place to do this. Now, at the same time, how do you actually know the powders that you're getting don't contain contaminants, which I know people that have tested their powders, and the powders only came back at about 40% of the actual drug that was supposed to be in it, which means the other 60%, he really had no idea what it was, because you have to test for those things.
So he never did any testing, except he knew his body really well. He had a lot of really great things going for him. So he could think based on, how it made him feel, how often he had to inject it, different things that way. And who am I to, I don't know what's on in his body. I can take his word for it, but he never did any of the actual testing on it. So the first batch of stuff that he got was somewhere between, when we were together, somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then we ordered more January. So the first set of raw products he got, some of he didn't like very well. Some of it he was splitting with other people. There are other things involved, and his practices of people were much different. They were more sterile, but he didn't cook this stuff. He didn't, he didn't know how, and he would have never admitted that. And it's frustrating because so many things back that it should have been different, it could have been different, but it's not.
Yeah.
So the products that we got just after the new year, he was finishing up Trend, and I think that's when he ordered the prop, actually, because I remember him mixing it with the last little bit of his Trend to get it dissolved more, and it wasn't dissolving right. Something wasn't quite right about it, and he mixed some stuff up for another person, and he hadn't started his cycle of that yet, and he was training for a competition in April. This would have been April of this year. The other person used this product, and immediately went to the hospital. I want to say 1 or 2 days into, because there was a lot.
Yeah.
And went to the hospital, said they got a staple in their leg or whatever, and started treating it. They knew not to say, hey, I'm using steroids. I think there's some fat in it. And I think at that point, that person blamed it on the fact that they didn't swab when they injected it.
Okay.
Like to swab their leg.
Yeah.
And so they thought, put a stab from the skin. They spent, I think at least a week in the hospital. They had home care because they ended up having to go home with a PICC line because of the antibiotics and stuff.
Right.
Or it might have been a central line. As far as the doctors couldn't figure out what it was exactly. They ordered and they hit him with so many different antibiotics. They never actually knew what that person had.
Right.
And this was in the first part of February.
So what was happening was, because he wasn't open and honest with the doctors, they weren't looking for other things besides what could have just been on the skin from a staple breaking the skin. They were just, it's hard because a lot of these guys won't go to the doctor and be upfront because they know the ration and shit they're going to get from the doctor. They degrade the patients. They make fun of them. They say things that put them down. They constantly, I mean, it's awful.
Oh, they treat it worse.
Yeah.
And it's very, very sad because there shouldn't be that kind of bias when you're in a position to help people. I don't believe that. I don't think there should be. But there is. There's a huge stigma related to steroids. So this person went in and they ended up having to get their leg down the side and get stuff drained and muscle actually came out because the infection was so aggressive. It ate away the tissue. It permanently altered the muscle patterning of this person's leg.
Yeah.
They still, huge scar, still don't have, they'll never be symmetrical again.
Well, it ate the tissue. It was necrotic. The tissue was necrotic, yeah.